This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there.
There's sometimes you'll just find things like, some of the things she's talked about, including the Xavier Broussard book and information about Brigitte Macron. Some of that stuff has just been proven completely false. And this was not,
Correct.
look, when she was covering Brigitte Macron, that was like the last time that I kind of, and I didn't even watch an episode or anything. I just heard about it. And I heard that the claims were that Brigitte Macron was indeed a man. And we've heard that before. And I thought it was hilarious that she was covering this. And I'm like, I'm rooting for her. I'm like, that would be cool to find out, right? I don't like the Macrons. I don't like the French. I don't even like French fries. Those are freedom fries. It's kind of funny. It doesn't really matter. And I kind of looked at it like that. But once you start getting into Charlie Kirk and you are intentionally lying and damaging the man's legacy, and all the work that he'd done and the strides that we had made as the MAGA movement, conservative movement, whatever you want to call about it. And not only that, like there was a genuine, not only a conservative revival, there was a genuine spiritual revival prior to Charlie Kirk being killed. And then immediately after Charlie Kirk had been killed. And what she's done with that, the way that she has framed Charlie, not even Charlie Kirk directly, but everything that Charlie Kirk stood up, TPUSA, the religious aspects of it, she's made a mockery of all that stuff. So there's definitely been we've definitely went backwards a little bit in that for sure. And I think just from the tone of the nation, we feel that, right? There was like this genuine conservative, especially amongst the youth, this revival taking place, a spiritual revival taking place. And she undid a lot of that. I don't know ultimately how big of an effect that she'll have, but she had, but it wasn't positive, and it definitely wasn't, it wasn't contributing to those same efforts for sure.
Absolutely. And to the point to, I guess, punctuate the point that you made, you hear her even now, like, I don't care about midterms or this, that, and the other. No, ma'am, don't you see Minnesota is burning? Don't you see what just happened in New York? They hired they hired a socialist to run the city. Ma'am, don't you think that that's really important? Don't you think that there would be some real ramifications if we start taking 2 steps back from these 1 or 2 steps we've made forward? Don't you think that would be bad? Don't you think the midterms really matter? I don't care about the midterms. All I want to know about is Charlie Kirk. Well, now apparently you don't care either, because now you're talking about X-Men storylines. You're talking about the Days of Future Past now over here. What are we doing?
I mean, Charlie Kirk cared about the midterms a lot.
But she's so much greater that she doesn't care about it. She cares about, I don't even know what she cares about. Like you said, where are we right now, Candace? What are we doing?
What do you think? Where do you think we actually stand with her influence? Do you think she is waning?
Yes, I 100% believe that she's waning. This is a situation where you're burning out your audience. If you're not giving them something, just think about it. All of her books in her book club are about this type of topic. MK Ultra, Lester Crowley, the Chaos book. Eventually, that's going to start wearing on people, because we just said that people like conspiracies, but you become paranoid after a while. Like if you're looking for a conspiracy under every rock and every turn, that's going to become exhausting.
Especially if you don't know how to put it in perspective. Like, I think that's the key here. It's like, some of these things are very real. MK Ultra was real. You can look at Operation Midnight Climax. Like, all of these things are documented. Many of these things. There's a lot of things that are documented and real that we need to be suspicious of in our society, in our government, but not everything is. And I think that's the real key, is being able to put these things in the context. Like, the government doesn't lie about everything. They lie about some things for sure. I also think who you have running the government, I think most conservatives would agree, the government that we have under Donald Trump, even though there's a lot of bad actors still within the government, their ability to influence that government is very, very different than what we had under Joe Biden. It's just a different thing. We had lawfare taking place. We had January 6th. We had FBI operatives going after protesters. It's very different. Yes, there's still people in there, even the Trump administration and the DOJ and intelligence community, they will still do bad things. But we're not at the level that we we were, for sure. It's very, very different. And while I don't agree with everything that Cash Patel and Dan Bongino did, I'll take them over Christopher Wray and James Comey any day of the
There you
week.
go.
I mean, there's a huge contrast compared to what we have now to what we had in the past. I think that's like super important to understand and put those things in perspective.
Let me finish up the question that you asked about whether or not her influence is waning. I think more people, sadly, yes, she's in the forefront. You look on YouTube, you go on social media, her face is plastered all over. The problem is that's not indicative of society. Social media is not a good indicator of everything that's going on in society. Because if you go to your workplace and ask people about Candace, go to your church and ask people about Candace. Fun fact, go to your church and ask people about Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of people who don't know about these people, and they're good people. They pay their taxes. They love their families. They're conservative, whatever. They don't know these folk. So Candace's influence is really not as big as we think it is. It's just we spend a lot of time in a place where she is a big fish in a small pond. So I would only say my only pushback would be that I don't think her influence is as influential as we want it to be. The problem is there is a vacuum of what Charlie was doing on college campuses, presenting conservatism and allowing young men and women to kind of vet it out and hear it out in real time. That vacuum is there. Now that needs to, we do need we need people to be there on college campuses and engaging with young people, because they are going to be the voters next year in the midterm and next election cycle. They're going to be the ones that are making decisions. Say again?
And just in the future in general.
Yeah, in the future in general. Yeah, that'd have been easier to say. No. But I think we do need to engage in that space. And at the current moment, we don't have anybody like that was doing that. And maybe it's because a lot of us didn't realize, like, I didn't know what Charlie Kirk was doing. Let's be honest. A lot of people didn't know who Charlie Kirk was before September 10th. Tell the truth, shame the devil. It's okay. But a lot of you didn't know. So what he was doing, a lot of people didn't know what he was doing.
So I'm not in that boat. Now, I took it personally when he was killed. I really did.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But a lot of people, now they knew of him. They maybe saw a clip or something like that. Yeah. But for the most part, they didn't. And all I'm saying is maybe we should take and hear me, because I dog Candace out on a regular basis, but maybe we shouldn't think that she's just a big juggernaut that she thinks she is. She really isn't. And we need to work on helping get the next Charlie that's going to be going to these college campuses, that's going to be engaging with these young people in a meaningful way, that's going to help, again, keep this momentum going. Because I think, yes, she has stymied some of the momentum. She's put a couple roadblocks and speed bumps in the way, but I think really she hasn't stopped it. It's just we're looking at her. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah, and I think those of us that are engaged in social media at the level that we are, like, I agree with what you're saying. I think our perception of her influence is greater than it actually is. The other thing, I do think that a lot of her views, there's a reason. I don't think she was ever the number one podcast in the United States. She was the number one podcast in the world. She was getting millions and millions of alleged views overseas. I'm suspicious of where that actually comes from, if those were actual views or manipulation. Of course, we have bots and other things like that I think is very obvious to me that are pushing her content and suppressing opposition content. So I think a lot of it was artificial to begin with and was at least inflated. And then of course you step outside of social media and we're like, oh gosh, sometimes I feel like, oh man, she's got like 60% of the people fooled. In reality, the overall population is like or less or much less. And it's probably a lot less than we realize. Because I mean, again, we have 230 million, somewhere around there, between 230, 300 million Americans, depending on what you look at. But, she's got 7 million followers on YouTube or X, somewhere around there. And how many of those are real people? I don't know. I don't think it's that.
I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.